What's going on, good people? Rich here.
School in the building. What's happening?
Hey guys, it's your girl Ray P, and we're back.
Man, welcome back to another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We say it every single week, but we sincerely mean it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for just checking us out every single week, for interacting with us. I do want to shout out a couple people real quick before we even get rolling into the episode. One, shout out to Christina, as always.
Dropping
That's my
knowledge.
dog, man. Christina cool as hell. Like, that's my dog. I feel like I've known her forever. But she was commenting on the Crooklyn episode and sharing some of her experiences and memories with it, and just kind of laughing at the fact that she's gonna hold off on rewatching it after listening to the episode and
Yeah.
fear that she may feel the same way.
Yeah.
But shout out to Christina. Also, shout out to Lydia. Lydia is someone who I've said it before. This was actually school's idea. School would be on Twitter sometimes and search the hashtag or whatever we were talking about and send the link to them. So I went to Run the World's page on Stars, which we've been covering myself and Ray P on. We got y'all, and went in their comment section on one of their posts and found some people. There's someone by the name of Lydia. She started following us. I just asked her to check it out. Just check it out. Let us know what you think. She actually circled back, let us know what she thought. Love me and Ray P. Love Run the World as always. So
Yeah.
thank you, Lydia. Shout out to you.
What up, Lydia?
Yeah, you're officially part of the Culture Garden family. Shout out to you. And also shout out to Bryce Tober on Instagram. I'm assuming his name is Bryce, but his Instagram handle is Bryce Tober. He reached out to us and just gave us props, said he loves the show. He listens every single week. Had a request and said, hey, there's a movie that I want y'all to do. And he told us what it was. I'm not going to tell y'all. He told us. And I told him, I said, you know what? It's Ray P's week to pick. It came down between that movie he wanted and what we're doing today.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works, but y'all know how it is. Anytime we get a chance to shout y'all out, show y'all love, we're going to do that. Always, man. Y'all the reason we do this and come back every single week. I mentioned we got y'all, the television podcast. We do reviews. We just wrapped up Run the World on Stars. Incredible season 2. Incredible season 2. I've been telling people, if you need a show to watch and you aren't familiar with it, they are 27-minute episodes. There's 2 seasons. You can get through it in a weekend, if that. And it's really good. And Rachel and myself, I think we had some good commentary on it. It was a very fun time recording for those 8 weeks. We got a couple more shows coming for y'all in August. We have Winning Time and we have Rap Shit. So we are excited to start talking about that. If you check the episode description, you can see our Linktree. You will have access to all of the content that we put out, as well as our Instagram feed, as well as our email address. Don't hesitate to reach out. As we mentioned earlier, people talk to us. We talk back. Shout y'all out. We just love having good conversation. Bryce Tober was talking about Hustle and Flow for a while, just back and forth about it. So appreciate him for that. And before we get into this week's episode, there will be spoilers and there will be explicit content. Today we're going to be talking about Above the Rim. And I also forgot one more thing, y'all. I don't know how I did this. This is the first time since we've started this segment. Last week in Crooklyn, I did not ask classic or nah.
Hey, man, they know the answer.
Nah, because hold on. I think it's pretty interesting because as much as I do not like the film today, I don't know if I cannot call it a classic.
I was going to say it's still very much a classic.
Yeah. I think it still has to be put in the classic category, regardless of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So, School, what you saying? You ain't answered.
I get what y'all saying. I agree. I ain't watching that shit again, but I get it.
Yeah. Some movies, you don't watch more than one. Well, I was about to ask about a certain movie, but I'm not going to go there. Like I said, Above the Rim today. Ray P.
Yes.
This was your week.
Uh-huh.
What made you want to pick this?
Well, we've been doing sort of newer movies. I mean, I know y'all did Hustle and Flow, which is a little older, but I wanted to do something that we hadn't really discussed. I mean, obviously we haven't discussed any of these movies, but Above the Rim is a movie I think that gets overlooked. And then what had happened was also there was that meme going around of 90s movies broken down by year.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I forgot about some of these. And Above the Rim is a movie that I've always genuinely liked. And so I'm like, let's do it.
Let me ask you something. And I know we'll talk further when we get into first experiences and all that, but you genuinely like Above the Rim.
Yeah.
What was it about the film that drew you in? Because it would be, I don't know whether to classify. I mean, it's a sports movie, of course, but it's way more than that. And obviously, I think the non-sports scenes are the most important, most intriguing. What drew you into the film?
I don't know. Well, also, I actually do really like sports movies, even if
True. You chose Draft Day.
Yeah.
I love a good sports story. Number one, Leon, hello. And Tupac, hello.
Hey.
Bernie Mac, hello.
Oh,
yeah. Finance Marlon Wayans, hello. Like, come on. So that may be what drove me choosing this movie or drew me into Above the Rim and the stellar performances by everybody.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
It.
Absolutely right. All right, man. The synopsis. Story of a promising high school basketball star and his relationships with two brothers, one a drug dealer and the other a former basketball star, fallen on hard times and now employed as a security guard. As far as the stats go, the film was released March 23rd, 1994. It was directed by Jeff Pollock. Jeff Pollock is claim to fame is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as well as Benny Medina. They wrote 143 episodes. Fresh Prince was loosely based on Benny Medina and Jeff Pollock's friendship growing up. So, I mean, it was already, I think, season 3, season 4 by the time this film came out. So they had a lot of sway in Hollywood. It was a little bit of a different time still when television was something you tried to get out of.
Yeah.
People wanted to leave TV to be a movie star, your George Clooney's, all that. And now it's people are running back to TV. So it's a little bit of a different time. So for them to be having movies and making these power moves in Hollywood, that was a big thing. Jeff Pollock also directed Booty Call and Lost and Found. I don't know if y'all remember that with David Spade. If y'all think that type of stuff. But he directed those two. He was a producer on The Fighting Temptations. Which I'm not going to hold you. I own The Fighting Temptations on DVD. Yeah, I might have to choose that here soon. I don't know.
Been a minute.
What's up?
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I watched that. Unfortunately, Jeff Pollock, he passed away in 2013 while jogging. So rest in peace to him.
All right.
Yeah, the film was written by Jeff Pollock, Benny Medina. This was their original story. And then they added on Barry Michael Cooper to add notes and add to the screenplay. So he wrote the Harlem Trilogy, Barry Michael Cooper. They call it the Harlem Trilogy. New Jack City, Sugar Hill, He Got Game. Shit, my bad. Above the Rim. But those three are all written by him, which if you're going to have back to back, that's incredible. It's an incredible run to have.
That's nice.
School, you'll appreciate this as well. He also wrote the storyline for NBA 2K16, the video game. And I know you will appreciate
the one with Freak, ain't it?
I think that might be the one with Freak.
Yeah,
that might be the one with Freak, man. One day we'll tell y'all about the gambling stories me and School used to have, man. To the point we had to stop. We had to stop playing the game. Man.
Hey, we had to stop that.
It got too real, man.
Hey, niggas weren't allowed at each other's house.
Hey, man. Budget of an estimated $3.5 million, and it made $16.1 million worldwide. Made all of its money back the opening weekend, $3.7 million, and is currently streaming on Prime Video. As far as awards go, one nomination for an MTV Movie Award for Best Song. Regulators, ironically, wasn't even on the soundtrack, but it was on the end credits for this movie. As far as the cast goes, we have Dwayne Martin as Kyle Lee Watson, Tupac Shakur as Birdie, Leon as Shep. Jeff Pollock actually thought he was too young. Y'all want to know who was offered the role?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah, who?
Denzel.
All right. Man.
No.
I'm dead ass serious. Denzel was offered the role.
No, I believe you.
Oh, yeah, but nah, I couldn't see it at all.
Yeah.
And it's funny because everybody thinks just because it's Denzel, like it's gonna fit. Like, nah, bro.
Yeah, nah.
But he passed on it. This was fresh off Malcolm X for him.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in a different thing. He wasn't about to do Above the Rim. And thankfully so, because Leon did his thing. This is one of my favorite Leon roles, actually.
Okay.
So everybody for everybody.
I was gonna say where's a role where Leon doesn't kill?
The limit does not exist.
Yeah. You already know what I'm about to say, Rich. What's my favorite Leon performance?
5 Heartbeats.
Temptation.
Oh, hold on, Little Richard.
Little Richard.
Oh, I was.
Yep, that's right. Little Richard is your favorite. Yeah, no doubt. You're absolutely right, though. No limit. No limit. We have Tanya Pinkins as Malika. First of all, looking real good.
Fire.
Looking real good. Shout out to her. We talked about Run the World earlier. Playing Whitney's mom on Run the World, the show we just wrapped up on Stars. Holly.
That is her. Wow. Okay.
That's Gwen Green. That's her. Let me just stop real quick. The whole purpose of us even creating this podcast was to give people their flowers in the culture, the ones that aren't recognized and discussed enough. Tanya Pinkins is one of the most decorated theatrical actors that's ever walked the face of this planet. She's either been nominated or won every single award you can win in a theater world. And not film, not motion pictures, but theater.
Theater, yeah.
She is incredible. She is a legend on that side of things. And I want to make sure people probably don't know. Not a ton of people are in the theater or go to theater, but I have to give her flowers because she is a phenom and an absolute incredible talent. So shout out to her.
It reminds me of Patina Miller, actually.
Yeah.
The way, man, killer.
So if people are theater, I mean, big time actors, your Samuel Jacksons, they still, that's how they keep their skills sharp. Plus they love it. Like there's nothing like getting on that stage live and having to do this shit. There are no cuts, none of that.
Shout out to Wendell Pierce.
Yeah.
He just nominated. Well, he didn't win, but he was nominated for a Tony. He did his thing. They love it. You're right. They love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So theater is one of my favorite, forms. Ray Pete's 10th grade or sophomore year, maybe something like that in Toledo. She took a theater class.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Continuing with the cast, my bad. We got Marlon Wayans as Boogaloo. Bernie Mac as Flip. Rest in peace to the legend. Wood Harris as Mota. It was his film debut. Byron Mins as Monroe. Shout out to Ray from South Central. Sean Michael Howard as Bobby. He also played Junie in Men of Honor, which is a Culture Garden favorite. Pee Wee Kirkland, the street legend in 2 games like I'm Pee Wee Kirkland.
Pee Wee.
And I got to shout out Michael Rispoli. He played Richard, Big Richie, kind of like that booster guy, that new Kyle stuff.
Yeah.
I'm only shouting him out because he played Jackie Aprile in The Sopranos. So shout out to The Sopranos, man. As far as the origin goes, there's a lot of information about how this film got started, y'all. So bear with me.
Okay.
Cut me off if you have any questions. Just gonna get right into it. Barry Michael Cooper, we mentioned him earlier. He wrote 8 scripts between 1986 and 1994. Only 3 of them got turned into movies, and I mentioned which ones they were. The Harlem Trilogy. It wasn't his original screenplay, but he got brought in to help, like I mentioned. He met Benny Medina through New Jack City, and Benny was the one that actually brought Above the Rim to his attention. It was based on an early 80s hoop star out of Queens. They didn't name who that hoop star was, but he was a real New York legend, and he was almost got devoured by the streets, just in the life and people trying to pull him one way. So that's how they actually came up with this story. In the summer of 1990, New Jack City was just wrapping up production, and Barry was hanging with Michael Payne, who obviously starred in New Jack City as G Money. And they were leaving the club, and the story's going somewhere. They were leaving the club, and the crew chief was with them. He was in a different car. He got pulled over by the cops. All right. I don't know what was said. The dude came back to the other car with Alan Payne and Barry, and they was like, yo, I hate a thirsty ass cop. And Barry had never heard the term thirsty before. So he wrote a screenplay called Thirsty. Wow. It was about a Baltimore narcotics cop who was corrupt. He was extorting drug dealers, framing politicians, all types of shit, right? Benny Medina read it and said, oh shit, this is better than New Jack City. Like, I want this movie. And he said, all right, cool, you can have it. The only thing is he had told Warner Brothers like a couple weeks earlier, they could have the movie too. So it became some big ruckus and Warner Brothers got it. And obviously they were pissed at him, but they was like, yo, you got real talent. Why don't you come on and write this Above the Rim movie with us? So that's actually his fuck up actually led to him getting a chance on this film.
Wow.
And he brought the authenticity to the film, like the Rucker element.
Yeah.
the high school gyms. If you know anything about New York City public gyms, those rims, those rings on top, and all that look like a track. That's how they actually watch those. The dope boys, the girls, the cars. He loved it so much. Like he told Jeff Pollock, like, if you want this film to be this, then you need to do it this way.
Yeah.
He would change the vernacular and dialogue in the script. And Jeff Pollock used to be pissed, but he understood because Barry told him, like, yo, these dudes are not from Bel Air. This ain't Fresh Prince. Like, these niggas are from Brooktown. They from Harlem. They don't talk like that. You got to change all this. Yep. And Jeff Pollock even went to the Rucker, and that's how Pee Wee got involved, because he loved that Rucker element and that street ball legend. He wanted somebody that was really about that life in the movie. Yeah. So you had him in there. Jeff and Benny asked Barry who should be Kyle Watkins. Or Watson, excuse me. Who y'all think he said?
Will Smith.
No, they asked Barry. They didn't ask Benny.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Benny and Jeff asked Barry, the writer, who should be Kyle.
I don't know.
Payne?
Alan Payne, his guy.
Payne, that makes sense.
Hey, shout out to Players Ball. By the way. If you've ever seen Players Ball, if you're listening to this episode, please hit us up on the Culture Garden Podcast on Instagram. Please hit us up, man. I would love to have a Players Ball conversation with people. Were you about to say something, School? My bad.
Nah, just wow.
Yeah, man. But obviously he didn't get it. Georgetown played a big role in this film. So actually there was a 1992 episode of Fresh Prince that mentioned Georgetown. Mm-hmm. But if you were Black and in the culture in the 90s, those early to mid 90s, you had UNLV, you had the Fab Five, and you had Georgetown, specifically when Iverson came on the scene. Mm-hmm. To this day, I'm a diehard Carolina fan. Like, I rep Carolina to the T. That's like one of those things. If you're my friend and you think of Carolina basketball, you think of me. That's how much I love Carolina basketball. The only other jersey I will wear to this day outside of a Carolina jersey is a Georgetown Iverson Hoya jersey. Like, Iverson is probably the most influential, even more than Jordan to my generation, the most influential person who ever picked up a basketball.
For sure.
He took the bullets. I don't want to use such a dark term, but you know what I'm saying. He took all the heat coming out the gate for the tattoos and the cornrows and everything else. So Iverson and Georgetown, the fact that they weave that into the story is what really kind of took it over the top within the hood, because it seemed realistic that Kyle Watson would want to go to Georgetown. Yeah. And you got to think this film came out in 94. That was Iverson's freshman year at Georgetown. So it really became a big thing. And everybody in the film that you see, for the most part, are real hoopers. So that's another cool element about this. Like Dwayne Martin played Division III basketball at New York University. Yeah, he was the first All-Association player. He was selected to that. He won the award for similar to the MVP that season. Leon, for those who don't know, he had a basketball scholarship to Loyola Marymount. He played before he started taking basketball seriously. Even between movies, he was playing over in Rome. So he was still playing professional ball overseas. Wood Harris, he can hoop. He's from Chicago. He's about 6'4". He can really hoop. You can tell, and what's beautiful is you can tell by certain movement on the court. Like, hoopers have this very distinct movement. You can tell who's bullshitting, who can really get out there. And all of them had that. So I love that aspect of it as well. Yeah. The film actually didn't get good reviews.
What?
Didn't get good reviews. They said it was cliche. It was choppy. Had too many holes in it, which we have to remember. The lead or second lead was involved in the shooting where he shot 2 undercover cops. Obviously, he got off, for those who don't know the story. So it was some other shit. And you got to be innocent if you get off of shooting 2 cops in the South.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that, I'm sure, disrupted production and some of the scenes they might have had in mind.
Yeah, and even to add on to that, rich shit, and then he wound up getting shot at Quad.
Yeah, ended up getting shot at Quad as well. Yeah. So all of that happened, and it was a lot on set during the making of this film, to say the least. And Pac was professional. I remember Leon saying, you know, Pac had a way about him, but it wasn't like in a diva way. Wood Harris told a story of the Range Rover, one of the Jeeps, the door wasn't opening. So Pac told the director of the people in charge of that, like, yo, fix this. They tried to fix it. He said, no, if you don't do it like this, it's going to happen again. So they shot the scene again. It happened again. He couldn't get the door open. He just stormed off the set, went to his trailer, said, y'all hit me up when y'all ready. I'm ready to work, but y'all ain't. So that's what type of time Pac was on. He was yelling. He refused to come out of his trailer once because they wouldn't take the doors off the Range Rover. He said, motherfucker, like real niggas don't have doors on their Range Rover. This shit ain't authentic. If you wanted to be authentic, be authentic. But he's hilarious. Yeah, he a creative arts nigga. He a performing arts dude. Like I know people know him as Thug Life and Pac and Death Row, but my man's he is trained. He's a thespian for real.
Yeah, for sure.
To the point where Malika Wilkins told a story. It was the scene when Birdie gets shot. And they were setting that up. And the prop director put a drink on the table when he was at the club. And Tupac said, yo, I need a bottle. He said, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of movement going on. Once you get shot, chaotic. It might spill over. He said, listen, Birdie just lost his best friend. He's not going to be in here just having drink by drink. This nigga's going to take a whole bottle, especially at his club, and have it at the table. So small stuff like that is what Pac was bringing to his character, and I thought that stuff was just brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to add on too that every Pac film that we've done on this show, and that Pac has ever done, period, always has a message or another element to it. It's deeper than what what they say, then the surface, than what's on surface, man. Pac is always playing a deep ass character, man. He was dope as an actor and a performer. So
he really was.
It always hurts my feelings how I feel. Rich knows how I feel about Biggie, and a big what if in my life is Biggie Smalls. Like what could have been, and I feel that way about Pac and his acting. Like I see him on film, and I just be like, damn.
For sure.
David Bailey, who played the coach, he told Barry Michael Cooper that and this is like the highest praise you can get. He said Pac reminded me of Marlon Brando.
That's insane.
The way he works and the way he can add to a character. He's like people were pretty much anybody who worked with him said this guy's gonna win an Academy Award. Since he's in the Thug Life, he kind of got typecast. 4 out of his 6 roles were pretty much thugs or drug dealers. But they were all saying once he's able to show range, like everybody's gonna see he is something. Like I think Alan Hughes, one of the Hughes brothers, had said Denzel has to pass that torch to somebody, and we all thought it was gonna be Pac.
Dang.
Like that's how good and talented Pac was as an actor. But nobody even got to see the range of it because of the roles that he had, and obviously his right. So yeah, man, incredible stuff. Ray P.
Yes.
Do you remember your first time watching this?
I believe my first time watching it was at my cousin's house. Again, obviously not something we saw in the theaters, but they had it on VHS and we watched.
No doubt. School, what about you?
No, I don't. This is one of those movies kind of like Friday where I've seen it so much and so many times that I just I can blend all this shit together. Like I could have seen it first time at your spot at 85. Like please.
Nah, I feel you on that. I have no idea the first time I saw Above the Rim, but I'm weak because I remember the first time I saw Friday.
Okay.
That's probably crazy. Yeah, I absolutely remember the first time I saw Friday, which is crazy. But no idea with Above the Rim. It could have been anywhere. 1480. I'm pretty sure this was 80. I don't even know if this is 85. I don't know where I saw this movie.
Yeah.
But everybody's seen it. I got it on DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, you better.
DVD collection is still strong.
Yes, it is.
I got the right way. Yeah, there we go. Above the Rim. Classic cover, by the way.
Classic
cover, by the way. I still think Thin Line Between Love and Hate is probably the GOATest movie poster of all time. Up there in the conversation, but Above the Rim, that's one I would have hanging up in the crib.
If only the movie was as good, huh?
Hey, but Thin Line Between Love and Hate is one of my favorite episodes that we've done, y'all.
Yeah, y'all are some haters. That shit is amazing.
I like it. Hey, whoa, that's cool, man. Don't be doing that to me.
Hey, that's cool.
Okay.
That's y'all women that love that shit because y'all be thinking about that shit in real life. Y'all be oh, Brandy.
It is in fact the thin line between love and hate.
It is. The fact.
Is this Tupac's best role?
No.
What would you put above it?
Juice.
Okay.
This is my favorite Tupac role, but I do think Bishop was his best role.
Yeah.
I might agree with that.
This would have been. Give me 2 more scenes with Birdie in this movie, and I'm easily calling this one it.
Yeah.
I would be very interested in what's on the cutting room floor.
Man,
100%.
Because every scene with him and Leon, you stop what you're doing to watch. Every time. Like, I don't give a fuck what you in the middle of doing. When them two get on screen together, you watching.
Yeah. Gravesite scene is my favorite scene in the movie.
Yep. Agreed.
What you smiling about, Ray P?
It's a top scene.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely, I can't lie, that's not my favorite scene. But it's two.
It's in there.
I think it's one of mine. Well, shit, we talking about it, Ray P. Let's get into it. Let's get into your first scene.
For me, it's the opening basketball game, just because it's the introduction to everybody. We're seeing who Kyle is as a player. We see that he's selfish. We see Shep serious about his work, but also standoffish a bit. We see his caring mother, single. The coach has an interest beyond basketball in Kyle's life. We meet Boog or Marlon Wayans. So I just like the setup because it really lets us know who everyone is. And maybe you may have some questionable things, but the intro really sets everyone up nicely.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. I agree to that.
I love that. I also love that, I don't know, high school sports are just, I don't know if it's every state, but definitely in Ohio, just going to the game on a Friday night, it was definitely not uncommon to, if you went to a city game, you know what I mean? Not all games, but if you went to a city game, you definitely seeing Birdie and his crew in there.
For sure.
Seeing the recruits, the crowd's hype, a lot of shit talking, cheerleaders talking shit. It just had a different atmosphere to it. So I thought that was cool. Thought that was pretty dope. School, what you got?
The scene we were just talking about, Birdie and Shep. Because it goes to what you were saying, Rachel, about just everyone being introduced. And when you see Birdie see Shep at the game, we don't know if first view, you don't know the connection there. But when you finally get that connection and they're at Mom's graveyard, I love the fact how how Birdie is so vulnerable with Shep. Like, he genuinely loves this man. He hugs him. I'm so glad you home. How long you been here? He tell him I've been home a couple weeks. He doesn't even get upset. That would upset me, bro. If you came home for 2 weeks and you ain't talked to me, bro, I'd be salty. Like, what? You've been home for 2 weeks? But he let it pass.
I'd have made it 3.
Yeah. Let him know, like, yo, I know you don't know this, but I'm the man now. Like, I'm running this shit now. And I want to include you on, on everything that's, going on around here. And Shep went for it.
Yeah. Ray P, you want to add to that?
I thought Leon and Tupac as brothers is some really good casting. They definitely look like they could be siblings or at least close cousins. That's one of my scenes too, School, but it's a little bit further down for me, but just really powerful. And I made a note in my random section about there's like an existential crisis because here Shep is the big brother to Birdie, but he left, when Nutso died, he pretty much abandoned the city and that left Birdie and their mother to fend for themselves.
Yep.
And drugs are bad, destroying the community, but also like we're starving, we're in poverty, and there's such a Sophie's choice type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I doing? I'm destroying the community, but also I have to fucking eat.
You know what I love too about this scene, and it goes back to the Crooklyn episode. They were laughing at me when I was dropping them food stamps. Like, that was a real thing back in those days. Like, I don't know about now about food stamps, but it seems to not be that big of a deal. But back in those days,
it's on the card. That just look like a regular
card. Yeah.
So you don't even know for real. You're not even paying attention. But back in the day, for the younger folks, it used to be like money. It was looking money, like Monopoly money. That's what food stamps look like, and people would get made fun of. and Birdie was in there getting made fun of, just like in Crooklyn, man. He went with it, had to come up.
I'm gonna piggyback off what Rachel was saying. I told y'all this is my favorite scene, and the reason is because it gave Birdie a heart.
Yeah,
you know, not a lot of films give the quote unquote villain or the bad brother an origin story, to the sense of you can really sit down and understand. And they did it a few times in this film. There was another scene later when they were at the park, you know, and they saw the other set of brothers playing and just kind of had that moment of what could have been or what used to be.
Yeah.
But it's specifically, like you said, it's the reveal where we find out they're brothers, and Birdie laying it out as far, because it would have been different if he was just on some thug shit or some fuck you shit off rip. And that's why I said it gives him heart. He was excited, like you said, at school, to see his brother. My big bro is back. You was that nigga before you left. I'm that nigga now. Side by side, he had expectations.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it sounds like he was a wanderer. Like they never knew if Shep was, when he was gonna come back, if he was gonna come back, none of that. Sounds like he didn't even make, well, he said he came back to bury his mother, so I guess he made the funeral. But he was just in and out. And no lights, no electricity, no food. Like you said, Rachel, what you expect me to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's handing me anything. Nobody's handing me any kind of opportunity. I'm not going to sit around and watch my mama live like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So regardless, you eloquently put, drugs are bad. However, I got to eat.
Yeah. All money ain't good money. Like I recognize that, but also,
Yeah.
And it's one of those American Gangster moments, you know, when Ruby Dee's character, you know, Frank Lucas's mom said, if you would have grown up to be a doctor, your brothers would have been doctors. If Shep would have stayed around,
for sure,
led away or showed a different path, we saw that Birdie adored him. I remember watching you and Nutso out here for hours.
Yeah.
He followed his brother's steps. You know, Shep leaving, it kind of put some shit on him.
For sure.
I understand why Birdie is the way he is. So the fact that they laid that out, I thought it was just beautiful.
Yes, I like that. The resentment was much needed, and we felt it for sure.
And I'm sorry, one more thing, and I don't know how I missed this, but shout out to Goodfellas. I don't shine shoes no more. You've been away for a while. You must not have heard. I don't shine shoes no more.
Baby.
I don't know who you think you're talking to.
You
know what I mean? Like I ain't Nutso. I ain't that dope head on the roof.
None of that.
Like, yeah, I'm the man now, motherfucker. I'm the one.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to that whole scene. I felt that because it's a change in the guard. Like, and I'm low key mad at you because you left us for all these years. I got some resentment already built up.
For sure, and rightfully so.
And rightfully so. So, I just got off my soapbox about why that's my favorite scene. But Ray P, it's on you.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go to us meeting Flip.
Okay.
Number one, Bernie Mac is Bernie Mac.
Man.
So there's nothing that he can't do. There's no role that he could not play, you know? So meeting him, seeing Kyle and Boog, you know, being assholes. Like I hated Kyle.
Oh yeah.
And it was very interesting to see him being influenced by Boog, because I don't think that he would have antagonized Flip the way that he did, because he and Flip were cool. Like I know you're unhoused, but there was, I think, prior to Boog being there, some sort of level of respect. And Flip probably was fucking with him a little bit, you know, but I didn't think that Kyle would be antagonistic to him in the way in which he was, you know. That was because he was trying to play up to Boog, and we know that obviously they were childhood friends. Mama Watson really wasn't fucking with him because she knew who he was, you know. So you letting this nigga fresh out of jail because you want to seem cool. He's putting you on with Birdie. That ain't the influence you should have. So I just like that, just because again, Bernie Mac is a star. And
yes, he is.
Our introduction to him, and he and Shep embracing once he came on the scene, it was so powerful because, you know, we get into these ageism wars. Look at me serious in the pot. We can
get into it.
But people don't know, like the comedian Mel, she made a comment like, drive-by graduation. Every time a millennial says something, drive-by graduation, Twitter start calling us grannies, you know.
Right. No,
So, I felt like that. It immediately reminded me of that moment when I was watching, because here it is, this young generation, even though they're from there, they had no idea who Tom Shepard was, even if he wasn't recognizable to them. So the fact, and I know that now we're in the Google information situation, but think how long it took Kyle to try to find out who Shep was, you know? Whereas now we were like, who the fuck is that nigga?
Right.
Because he was somebody that, even though Flip was a homeless person, very clearly revered and respected. And you probably knew Flip won that championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he used to be at the court, that was his comfort place where he would be at. Obviously, basketball is something that holds meaning to him.
Can I say something to that point?
For sure.
When Bernie Mac grabbed that ball from Kyle and started dribbling, you could tell Flip hooped.
Yeah,
I said it earlier. Like, they hoopers move a certain way. And just the way he dribbled, it was 100% believable that 20 years ago he was a part of a championship team at a local school.
Yeah,
like 100% believable, and just fell on hard times. You know, former athlete, all that stuff. But I love the fact that you said that, because Flip could absolutely, that was his thing. That was his comfort place. And like you said, the fact that he's sleeping there, that's a hooper thing. Like, I had the ball in my crib, like all types of shit. Yeah, they ball is life.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say he's sleeping at the park, and there's a reason for that. Comfort.
Yeah. And going to your point, Rachel, that even leads into Shep showing up and actually getting, you know, making sure Flip is cool, getting them niggas off of him. I love how Kyle tried to step to him. He just looked down like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, little nigga.
You a little nigga. I've seen you. I've seen a million of you come through my day.
Yeah,
exactly what type of time it is. So yeah, School. What's your next scene?
The good old manipulation scene from our good guy Birdie. Man, Birdie took Kyle and introduced him to some things he's never seen before. Specifically, women, money, power, all that good stuff, man. Everything that, I guess, what he told his coach, essentially, it's about more than basketball, excuse me. And that's what it was for him at 17, maybe 18. I mean, what else did you expect that man to be about besides, you know, getting one off and shooting these hoops? And Birdie knew that, and he took advantage.
For sure.
He had it set up for when he walked in and seen no girl. He's like, oh, I'd like to have her. He said, say something to her, man. Go ahead. Hey, tell her what you want. Tell her I sent you. Like,
right.
Yo, Birdie was a dog, man. He knew exactly what to do because he was there. He's been there. You know, he knew what ball players liked. His brother was one of the best of the neighborhood. Shit. So he knew what to do.
Yeah, man. Birdie is Kyle. He's the closest person to Kyle from a character standpoint. I grew up by myself with my mom too. I know exactly the feeling. There's a scene in the kitchen where Kyle and his mom, I know exactly that feeling and that passion of making sure you don't have to do this, you don't have to work, you don't have to go through any struggle anymore.
Yeah.
So Birdie knew exactly how to entice Kyle. Looking back, it's funny, 17, 18, like you said, how big the club scene was when you're that age.
Yeah.
The club is like everything. And I'm so far removed from that life, but I remember just that was such a big deal. Leaving the crib at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11. You know what I mean? Now I'm getting home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's the latest.
Day party, please.
Yeah, day party all day. So yeah, he knew exactly what to do. And Birdie's club was popping.
Yeah, it was.
Only clubs more rocking than that was Ray's Boom Boom Room and the Dirty D on Tupac. Yeah, them the only two clubs that's rocking the same as Birdie's, man. So yeah, he put on that charm. Birdie, Tupac, however you want to word it, had that charm. That just knew exactly what. Hey, come on, man, you embarrassing me.
Yeah,
that's his money. Just for him to be a hardcore, stone cold drug dealer / killer. You know, my man got the $150 on his face with the bandanas every scene. He made you feel comfortable like a big brother.
Yep.
I wonder how far apart in age they really were.
I would love to. Well, so Jeff Pollock, as I said earlier, he thought Leon was too young to play the role, and Leon had to tell him, like, I just want to remind you, I am an actor.
Right.
If I need to play up, I'll play up.
Yeah.
But that made me think, like, damn, if you think Leon's too young, then how old is this supposed to be?
Well,
maybe Shep was 17 and Birdie was 8, maybe a 9-year gap, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very curious too, because I looked at the mom's headstone and she was only like 45.
Yeah. I did add that up and I can't remember. So yeah.
So I'm like, how old are they really? So
I took Birdie as not too far out of high school.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Maybe 21. Maybe.
Yeah, he got a club, so I'm gonna call him 21.
Yeah.
22 at the oldest, somewhere around that age. Maybe Shep in his early to mid 30s.
Yeah, so she had them probably at 16, 17, somewhere there. Young mom.
Yeah, man. And it's funny how the whole time Kyle was so pressed to get recruited by Georgetown. Birdie smooth ass recruiting them the whole time.
Yeah,
this is a real recruitment. What you expect and what you want to do in real life, I'm giving this to you right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So every reason why you need to be running with my squad. So that was a nice tie-in. Ray P, what you got next for your scene?
So I have 2 that I'm gonna say, but the first one is just like a little note. The first cafe scene where the waitress is trying to get at Shep, just because I was like, this is where Alicia Keys got that shit from. This is the first she don't know my name, just because she was so pressed. And then we see the start of Shep and Mom's relationship budding, or at least something that could turn into a relationship. So the next scene that I actually really want to talk about is the car scene with Bud, Kyle, and Mo.
Now that's my favorite.
That's your favorite scene?
That's your favorite scene? Okay.
It's nothing like, again, I'm assuming that Mo is
the muscle.
Birdie's age or older. So it's nothing like 2 young ass kids in the back geeking, being extra. You trying to take care of business, but they're just fucking kids having fun. Not really, or at least Kyle, because Boog knew what was up, but not really knowing what the fuck you're getting yourself into. The naivete of that, of adolescence, and being out the way, because shit, Malika kept, as best she could, kept Kyle away from the fray. So he still was very green, which is why he didn't know that Birdie was coming,
Yes.
And who he was involved with. So I just love that scene because we knew the background. Now, Mo already wasn't fucking with Kyle because he was jealous of this young basketball star taking my place on my team, taking my place as the apple of Birdie's eye, the new shiny thing, So I just love that shit because it's annoying.
You have all that and you mix in Boog as a fucking idiot, because this Boog is perfect. Like, Marlon Wayans is excellent in this role because he's exactly what you need for that comedy relief. They leaned on him a lot in this movie, and he did his thing. And my favorite scene is when he's telling him, like, you need a role model, bro. Like, and that was the part where Wood Harris broke character. Like, the whole scene, he was tough. He wasn't playing around. You niggas need to be soldiers. You can't be playing around all the damn time. And when he got out and slapped them niggas up and pistol whipped them and took their money and he got back in the car, Boog was like, yo, you need a role model. And you can see Wood Harris kind of break character a little bit. Like, this nigga's a fool, bro.
Yeah, and a hug. Shout out to Marlon.
Hey, and a hug.
Because I'm sure that was an ad lib.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to say that to Tupac. He was going through all this shit on set because Marlon, people probably know, it's common knowledge at this point that him and Omar Epps are best friends. They went to high school together. So he actually met Tupac on the set of Juice. Omar Epps was doing that. And when Tupac was having all his legal troubles throughout the filming of this, he used to tell Tupac, yo, you need to take that T off your stomach and just have it say hug life. So I think that he just took that into it, and that's just the brilliance of Wayans is his last name. So
yes,
what more can we say? I just want to add one quick thing that I don't know if everybody remembers that time when, and I don't know if anybody's not even everybody's going through this, but meeting someone and they're gonna do exactly what they say.
Yeah.
Like this nigga would bury the both of them. Like Motown was not playing no games with nobody. Yeah. And as a young kid, as a 17, 18-year-old, that type of shit really makes you check your company and realize what type of life you want to live.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I love that moment, like you said, too, the fact that they just illustrated grown man business.
It's grown man business.
Like and Big Boy's character in ATL.
Yes, this grown man business.
I swear niggas always call him Big Boy. We never call him by his character name. But yeah, that's just how it was. So,
yeah, because it's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly what it was. Grown man business. And they was playing around too much and your mans wasn't having it.
For sure.
Ray P, what you got next? Or was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
I'm sorry. School, who you got?
It's on me?
Yeah.
Oh man. Go ahead, Rich. Go.
I'll go. Kyle and his mom arguing about Shep.
After the game.
Before the game. And then after the game.
Okay.
So I guess we can combine those two scenes.
Absolutely. We can do it.
Just because you know how y'all mama's boys are.
She ain't lying.
But Kyle was so distracted. And it's selfish because here it is, your mother has a chance to be happy, but you're the only man in her life since your father's passing. You are the most important thing to her. And here she is having a bit of something for herself and you can't handle it. And I know maybe some of that is because Shep literally was sonning him throughout the film, throughout all of their interactions, as to which he needed that. Even Kyle didn't respect his coach, not for real. You know what I'm saying? So Shep was the first kind of adult authority male figure who wasn't buying into his bullshit because he was a star.
Yeah.
So all of that. So at that game, the rematch between the intro team and now who they're playing, their rematch. Kyle was out of it. He wasn't focused. He wasn't paying attention. And thus there were scouts in the crowd and he's fucking up. And so he throws a tantrum. He's throwing chairs and shit. Like, nigga, get to the back. He's hollering and fussing at the security guard who he's known probably his whole life and definitely throughout his high school career. And he knows he's fucked up at this point. So you have that moment where you're no longer mad at everybody else and now you're mad at yourself.
Yep.
And the weight of that is beginning to sit on top of his chest. And then now here comes this nigga Shep. Like, nigga, I'm not fucking with you. Why are you here? Yep. Why is she here, Ike? But and so he gets out of character. He's yelling at his mom. Like, it was a really intense and powerful scene.
Yeah.
For everybody, because I really think Dwayne Martin should have had a bigger career, but that scene in and of itself, I think, stretched him more than any other scene throughout the movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. You know what? I wish, man, if I was playing against Kyle, I'd have been on some Anthony Edwards Hustle. What's that movie on Netflix with Adam Sandler? Is it Hustle?
I think it's Hustle.
Yeah, I would have been on some Anthony Edwards shit in that. I would have peeped him, keep looking at the stands, and I'd have leaned over to that nigga and said, "Yo, that's the new nigga fucking your moms." Concerned about that. Like I would have been in his head so bad he would have swung on me on the court.
Yeah, you would have got your ass whooped too.
Nah.
It would have been a real fisticuff.
Nah. But I definitely would have leaned. And I said, "Dang man, your mom's fine too." I'd have been fucking with him and got him kicked out of that game. Easily, and he definitely wouldn't whip my ass at all. Double down on that. But yeah, I love that. I love that scene too, Rachel. I'm glad that you mentioned that. And we talked about him getting out of character. We saw that earlier in the film. That first time we see them interact and just how he was out all night and just even raising his voice. There's something about that age once again where you just start feeling yourself. And I don't even think it was a mom thing. I think it's an age thing. I think if it was a dad, he would have said the same. Like, it's kind of buck up. Like, I'm a man now. Like, let me do my thing.
Definitely an age thing, and getting away with a lot of shit. Mom's working these crazy hours. She know he came in at 1, but ain't nothing she can really
what she gonna do?
Yeah, like he's smelling himself, and he's going to the NBA. Like he is going to be your future and someone you depend on a little bit. So, hey,
what you got, School?
My next scene is Birdie again, bro. The scene where he's handing out his jerseys for the tournament, and Bud comes in late. Oh shit, I ain't know he's having a little meeting. Why ain't nobody call me, let me know? Like, where my jersey at? And Birdie flips, like, tell me this is a joke. Tell me this is a joke. And your boy gives in. He's just like, yeah, I'm joking. That's how crazy Birdie is or was. Like, he could turn it on. He can manipulate you. He can make you believe you're his best friend. And in a matter of 5 seconds, flip it all on you. Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out. Beat it. I mean that shit. Pushed him down. Disrespected him. It's the reason why the movie ended the way it ended. Like, you got to see that man.
For sure. After so much disrespect.
Yeah. And the final disrespect, I mean, is when he, Kyle gave up on the team and he told everybody, like, if you even talk to Bug, like, you done.
Yeah.
Like, man, he put a price on that man's head, basically. Like, that's crazy.
I didn't like the way he treated Bug throughout the film at all. But Rachel made a great point earlier to show these are kids, these are children. What is he gonna do? Like, what is Bug gonna do? Like that.
He said it.
So he knew what it was. Yeah, he knew what it was. So absolutely. Ray P, you got something?
My last scene is honestly the shootout game, just because it was the shootout scene. And we see Tom Shepard come back after all the teams have been completely obliterated by the Birdmen. So nice teamwork from them. And then obviously the end, we see Mo get them niggas, come out with his gun and shoot Tom. Or
classic meme.
Classic. I just love that, just because the athleticism. You talked at our opening about how they all actually were hoopers, so we got to see that on a larger scale than the one-on-ones and just shooting in the gym. So I like that.
Shep was killing them on that pick and roll at the middle of the court, man.
Corduroys and the long johns. You feel me?
Cooking them niggas. You hear me?
Stupid.
That's how you know Shep was a hooper, because there was multiple scenes. The scene where he played Kyle one-on-one, this nigga had his jacket on.
He wasn't to be fucked with.
I barely like hooping with long sleeves.
Hey,
let alone out here in corduroys in the jacket.
Flip was this close to beating Kyle.
Listen.
Flip went, Kyle, Flip went. He wasn't no slouch, but that lets you also know that Shep was that nigga.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I mentioned the scene where he played Kyle one-on-one, but really the shootout. He came in fresh off the bench and dropped 40 on these niggas.
Yeah.
And that scene is always funny. People have pointed out some of the editing. I think you have a player who catches the rebound, throws the outlet, and then catches it on the other end and dunks it.
Yeah.
I think also that the scene where Shep is entered into the tournament is where you it's a movie. You could tell this is a movie. Like him stopping, him being in the taxi and having that flashback, or seeing those players play, and then all of a sudden he's like, it was just a lot for him to pop up, and for the coach to put him down, at the very beginning. Like, it's just a lot of movie shit.
Yeah. Well, he put him down as a coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At the beginning. I want to say that there was, or let me know how you all interpreted it. Did you feel like even though Birdie was pissed because he knew that Shep was about to come in and kill, did you also feel like there was a modicum of adoration? Because again, it's like, damn, I haven't seen my brother hoop in so long. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm mad as fuck. Not at the beginning, but just as Shep, once he gets into his groove, like, did you at all ever feel like it was a couple of times where he was watching like, damn, this nigga's dope.
Absolutely.
That's a big brother, even though
Listen,
he ain't.
I am 34 years old and I watch LeBron James a lot. And I still have those moments where LeBron does something. He'll come down and hit 3 threes in a row or 3 just crazy shots. And you just like, goodness gracious, this nigga's different. Like, that's what Shep was doing. Like, Shep was just on.
Sure.
He got a few lucky bounces too, but it's okay.
I think Birdie was like, fuck that nigga.
I feel like, I mean, he was actively recruiting for him or advocating for him to get fucked up. So
yeah, and I don't think. Do you think that Birdie knew that Shep was an option? Do you think he would try?
No, he had no idea.
Not at all.
He said he's not on the roster. He was like, he's not on the roster. The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that as hard pressed as Birdie was to win this tournament, and what the extent that he was willing to go to mess up Kyle's future, to pay people, to make sure that he had Mota out there clubbing niggas pretty much.
Yeah.
He did not want to. I don't think there was any admiration. I think there was a little bit of respect as far as his skills. One of those, this motherfucker. It's like some people are just better.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. You just go against them and you gonna compete because that's what you do. But you got this motherfucker, and you. It's not an upset thing, and it's not It's just a weird. This motherfucker just got me.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? So I think there was a little bit of that, but yeah, he wasn't fucking with him. Sent Mota to get the strap.
Facts.
Shit, wow, man. That shit remind me of Hoop It Up.
Oh man,
anybody back in the day, if you were
Hoop It Up legend. If niggas don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and confirm it. This nigga right here in the corner, right there, that nigga's a Hoop It Up legend, bro.
I appreciate that.
Matty Mills, when it was Forest Fair.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna say all that, but I will say
I
participated in my fair amount of Hoop It Up. Shout out to my nigga Good.
Yeah,
I'm at Goody Studios right now, man. Yeah, Goody was on every team I was on. Yeah, we definitely used to get it in. We still get it in, man. We hoop every Sunday.
Yeah, you got a couple of Hoop It Up trophies somewhere.
Yeah, I do. I have no idea where they are, but they somewhere in storage or some shit. I think that's cool. Did you have any other scenes that you wanted to talk about?
No.
I'm trying to see if I go through mine, if there was anything. That's pretty much it.
I think the way it ended was perfect.
Yeah, and Birdie and Shep on the park, I told y'all that as well. But I mentioned it because it's just that imagery of everybody else there.
For sure.
Best quotes. Ray P, you got anything?
Yes. Very quickly. Okay. Man, your dick look like an anteater. Because it just reminded me the first time I saw an Uncut Gem, I was like, oh.
Yo, you wild for Uncut Gem. What the fuck, Rachel? What the fuck is going on? Uncut Gem Ray. What the fuck,
yo? When Barney said, boy, you a pussy without the hair.
Hey, totally.
In the 90s, the bush was still very much in. When Boog was like, go stop some traffic with them yellow eyes. Because again, the Wayans' comedic timing is perfect. Don't waste your time, sis. This is Alicia Keys' foremother in the cafe. Don't waste your time, sis. It may look sweet, but it's gone sour. And period. You got rid of those nut huggers. What you was on your way to Bible study was Kyle to Shep. And again, we've already said it. Nigga, you need a role model or a hug or something. And then I'll see you later, you sherm smoking motherfucker, just because.
That nigga said.
Yeah.
Hey, right here, you ran through all my quotes.
Hey, the only one that I have that you didn't have is we talked about it anyway. Is it's always gonna be some bullshit after a nigga say, "Let me tell you something."
Right.
That nigga say, "Let me tell you something. I don't care what Birdie say. I'll bury both you motherfuckers."
For sure.
And he meant that shit.
And he meant that shit.
Quote. That's a classic quote. I've already said mine also in the gravesite saying, "You ain't the motherfucking man no more. I'm the one."
Yeah.
Something about that "I'm the one" is he said that shit from his chest. Scene Stealer. I think we have some strong candidates here.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Marlon Wayans as Boog, and I have Bernie Mac as Birdie. I mean,
That's Flip.
As Flip.
I'm gonna make you choose one. Whoa. I can't make Ray P do shit. I'm gonna ask Ray P to choose one.
Period.
I'll weaken myself.
What if I can't? Let me hear y'all's first, and then I'll decide.
Cool. Who you got?
I got Bernie Mac as Flip. I just think that, especially for the time of what he was known for, this is the very first time he came out and let people know he can act.
Yeah.
He definitely did his comedic thing, like you expect. But when it came to like being serious, looking Shep in his eyes, they'll never. What he say? We won't forget, or they can't erase us.
Can't erase what we were.
Yes, that. So, I mean, he showed up and showed out for me. So, Bernie.
I have Bernie Mac as Flip, Wood Harris is Motal, Marlon Wayans is Boogaloo, in that order. You said what?
If I gotta choose, you gotta choose.
No, in that order. It's Bernie Mac as Flip, and
okay.
Mainly because everything school just said, and I don't know, it's like the perfect candidate. Not a ton of scenes.
Yeah.
Every scene he's in, he says something memorable. You can't really take your eyes off of him, and you genuinely care that he got killed.
Yeah,
for sure.
You genuinely care he got killed. Like you were upset that happened to him. So he wins it for me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna dare to be different and just go with Marlon, just because. But for real, it might be Flip.
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Things that bother you.
Nothing really, other than Kyle being too cocky. He was too annoying.
Typical 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you need a Shep.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw you miss that jumper, nigga. Flick them wrists. School, what about you?
Nope. I don't have anything besides the the edits we talked about. But that's just something we can't help that.
I got a couple things.
Okay.
All right. Listen, man.
Let me tell you something.
Why the fuck is there a hoop on the roof?
Oh yeah. Oh.
And why the fuck is the backboard so flimsy that you can slap it? I've slapped a lot of backboards in my day. Not one of them was even close to breaking or me falling through.
Yeah.
All right. So I got that on there.
Pause. I have playing. It's not in the things that bother me, which is where it should have been, but it's just in like my little random thoughts. Playing basketball on a roof is nuts.
That's insane. Nutso.
It's insane.
Sorry.
Nah, that part. There's a mention when Coach and Flip are talking, and I like that scene as well when he says you owe him something. Like, yo, you got to give back. Let me say this. I meant to say it earlier. Every black man needs an OG.
For sure.
And if you are qualified, every black man should be an OG.
Yeah.
Watching this film yesterday, I hit up my youngin'. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be a freshman in high school. I've coached him for some years, and I've just, we just kind of grew a bond. So I actually hit him up. I hit his mom's up, you know what I'm saying? Just so people don't think I'm weird. I talk to his mom, all types of shit, but he's like my little mentee, little brother, little nephew, something like that. This movie made me just hit him up. Like, yo, you good? Like, everything cool? Like, how's football going? Like, all right. Because there's so many instances that depict choices and the choices you make and how that influences. And I talked about Shep and Birdie and understanding why Birdie is the way he is because his brother did leave and he didn't have that mentor.
For sure.
Dang, I don't even know where I was going on that rant about having an OG. About things
Everybody
about
needs one.
Yeah, everybody just needs one.
Mhm.
But number 23 being big as shit in high school, the dude on Kyle's team, that shit bothered me. And the taking a piss scene was very, very weird. Barry Michael Cooper made a point of saying, I did not write this. I'm a writer on this film. I did not write this scene. I thought this scene was weird. I don't know why they put it in there.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
It was just unnecessary and just kind of weird. But I don't know. That's that Bel Air shit, I guess. I don't know. It was just a different, I don't know. It just didn't make sense. I'm not even talking about the action, because if let's say it just didn't make sense. Like, why is this in the movie? You know what I mean? If you do that, have it in the have a locker room scene if you want to do that.
Right.
Well, they did, and I'm not defending the scene, but they tried to make it make sense. His mom was on his ass, so he didn't use the bathroom at home, blah, 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 blah. Like,
my nigga,
I'm with you.
Bruh, back up.
That part. But he did just get out of jail.
I mean, it could be.
Listen, it's Marlon Wayans, bruh. Like, he always been that guy, so I ain't shocked.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the scene. It just doesn't make sense from a story aspect. It just didn't add anything to the film.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Barry Michael Cooper, not because of the nature of the scene, but just because from that standpoint, I just didn't get it. I didn't get where it was supposed to be going. He also mentioned the Bunks scene. Like, he was like, Bunks was just a weird thing to me, but I knew it was real.
Yeah.
I knew it was real and it really happened in the street. So, but he didn't write those scenes either.
Got it.
But yeah, that's about it. And I don't like Birdie getting shot at the end in that manner.
You don't?
No, let me say in that manner. What I mean is, it was just kind of walk on the club, shoot him. I wish there was a little bit more of a scene than that. You know, it's just like a quick flash and it happens. That's how 90s movies were.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about me would have liked to see Bug like tracking him down and getting him on the way in the club, something like that.
It sounds like you wanted Bug. See, when you say it like that, it sounded like you wanted him to get away with it.
No, not even that. It's not even that. It's just, I think the character of Birdie and what he supplied us in this movie, I think he just deserved a little bit more than just the flashing of him dying. Maybe that's just me wanting to see more Pac.
Yeah, that's probably.
He was great on this.
He deserved all that shit, and it made sense. Like,
I'm not mad that he died. I mean, he was a terrible human being, but I also just would have loved to see a little bit more to a character like that. When you get rid of a big character, they deserve a rightful death, in my opinion. So I guess it doesn't bother me like wholly, like the other stuff that I mentioned, but you know, just a little concern. Were there any come see about me moments?
No.
Nah. Except for Shep showing up with that weekend apology.
Hey, Shep was a runner, wasn't he, Rachel? Boy was a runner. He's a track star.
Was.
Cultural moments, the whole damn movie. New York, Black Hoop. It was
the only thing that don't make sense about this movie is that West Coast ass soundtrack.
Yeah, I was trying to get some more information on how a New York City based film got a Death Row contract, a soundtrack, excuse me. So yeah, Death Row released the soundtrack. I mean, it's one of the best soundtracks ever.
Classic.
When you talk about rap soundtracks, I mean, it's up there top 3, I'm sure. Very 90s. So if you into the new stuff, it might not be up your alley, but it should be, because the new stuff is what it is. But it was a classic. Might be the last great hip hop soundtrack. Some people might throw Friday in there, but for me, it's Above the Rim. Above the Rim is incredible.
Yeah, Pain. That track "Pain" by Pac is a classic, and then Fabulous came and ripped it again to new shreds. So
yeah,
super classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Any actors from The Wire? Hell yeah,
I knew it.
My nigga Sherwin David Harris.
Wood.
Better known as Wood Harris, better known as an absolute legend, Avon Barksdale.
The legend.
Shout out to the Barksdale crew, man. Shout out to Weebay. It's funny, man, because he played like a Weebay role to Avon in this movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man. So
he just about that action. I'm about that action, boss.
I'm just a huge Wood Harris fan from an actor perspective. I mean, his range is incredible. There's nothing he can't do. It's limitless, like we said about Leon. So shout out to him. Wouldn't let that happen to me. Y'all got anything? I don't have anything either. I don't think there was anything that was really preventable. School, you got any trivia?
The only trivia I have is about Pac, man. Pac had to use a body double in the basketball scene because, of course, he got shot at Quad Studios in NYC. Which led up to the Biggie beef and so on and so forth. So that's about it. And that body double looks spot on.
Yeah, you probably it might take you a few watches to actually tell who the body double is, because you'll see a lot of scenes. They obviously, the magic of movie making, they had scenes already with Pac at the court, so they would use a lot of the same close-ups over and over again.
Yeah.
But for the full body ones, it would be a Pac double. But he looks. You have to pause it and see. I'm gonna try to track it, and I'll post it on our page so you can actually see the difference. But it's really hard to tell if you're just watching it in the film.
Yeah,
down pack. I got a couple things that I found as well. For all the reality TV fans, especially from the 90s, you probably were a Real World fan. Real World was my shit, at least growing up. Mm-hmm. Eric Reese, the dude who plays Kyle's high school rival, Montrose, he was on the original Real World cast in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that actor who played him, he was original Real World cast member. And Tanya Pinkins, who played Dwayne Martin's mom, she was only 3 years older than Dwayne Martin at the time of filming, even though she played her mom.
That makes
Dwayne Martin was 29. Dwayne Martin was 29 years old at the time.
Oh wow,
29.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was 29 when it released. He was 28 when they filmed.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and like you said, Rachel, when you look at Dwayne Martin's resume, you were kind of shocked at how bare it is. You just expect a lot more on there, and I'm like, damn, Dwayne Martin, to be such a person I remember growing up, doesn't have a lot of huge roles.
Yeah.
So it was kind of surprising when I was kind of looking at that. But we're here at the end of the episode. Got to rate the film.
Hold on. Did we classic or not?
Yeah. And if we didn't, classic or not? What y'all think? It's all. I think we all say classic.
Classic.
I know it's a classic. It's a classic. So
yeah. We at the end. Too high, too low, just right. The average viewer rates this film 6.6 out of 10.
Right. Too low, 7.2.
School.
Too low, 7.2.
Too low, 7.9.
Whoa. You know what? I thought that 0.2 was a little low. I'm gonna up mine to a 0.5 or 0.6.
Yeah. It's good, man. And for I'm a coach, man. I coach youth sports. I care about youth and just young black men. That's something that I care deeply about. So seeing the results of somebody not being there and people having choices and nobody there to kind of guide them through it. Those scenes with Shep and Birdie and Shep and Kyle just hit a little different for me. And they crossover. This film is going to be 30 years old next year. And it still resonates and still hits, and just the authenticity and just that 90s feel. There was no era. There's no decade like the 90s, man. The 90s was just different. And that early to mid 90s, I say it all the time, it was so different from the late 90s. Yeah. And it's its own little time, and everything was new and fresh and taboo, and hip hop was still looked at crazy and all types of shit, man.
Mm-hmm. I also want to say shout out to Coach Rollins, man, to know, and we need more people like him. I know it's a movie, but you need more people of Coach Rollins who knew that Kyle had an attitude, and he knew that he didn't look like him, and maybe that's why. So he knew that he should lean on Shep to lead this young man. We need more people like that. Like, step up, black man, step up.
Well, hold on, man. Ain't a white man about to be telling me step up, black man. I'm gonna say that for sure.
He didn't say that, but he did.
But no, I don't think he did it for Kyle per se. Well, there was a moment where he said it.
Yeah, he told him like he needs you.
I think it was more so he knew that he didn't understand this new generation.
Yeah.
It was time for him. That I can't admire, because one thing that's a big issue in any kind of organization, corporation, is people not knowing when it's their time, like to go.
Okay.
And it's time for some new blood. So that alone lets me know, all right, he has the best interest of these kids in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that Shep is the person, because he's lived that life. He's done that. He's been that person. And he's a no-nonsense dude. We saw right away how Kyle just had respect for him. Well, he played him when he thought he was a toy cop and all that. But once he realized he was somebody, he could have stepped to him when he got him up off flip, but he realized, like, nah, I'm gonna chill.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, step up, black man. I tell that to get the fuck out of my face, bro.
That was me. That was me saying that. Man.
I feel it. All right, y'all, man. It's been real. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, please remember, like I said, check the Linktree. Look at the bottom of the episode description. Be sure to share, subscribe, like, comment, hit us up on Instagram, email us, whatever you want to do. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget about We Got Y'all. Make sure you subscribe to that in the Linktree. We'll be back next Thursday with another film. We're going to flip it up on y'all next week. Y'all are going to be like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
I don't.
It's my choice. It's my choice. It's not a film in the culture. You're going to be like, yo, Culture Garden, we just want to show our range. That's all I'm going to say. We just want to show our range. So, y'all be cool. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool.
Bye. Bye.